Our citizens called us to a fight in progress and general disturbance at the community pool. We responded. I do not condone the actions of those individuals who violated the rules of the community, showed disrespect to the security person on scene, and to the officers who responded. However, we as a department are held to a high standard of action as we do our job.
All right, joining us now is Johnathan Gentry. Hello, sir.
Good. How you doing, Steve?
Good to see you again. It's been a while. All right, so this cop quits or was forced out before there's any investigation. Bernie Kerrig, who is the police commissioner here in New York, said on this show at the beginning of the show in the last hour that it was premature for this cop to leave or be forced out. There should have been an investigation. We heard from the cop's lawyer today that he pushed a white girl on the ground, too. What he was looking to do was get everybody down so they could sort out who was responsible for the crimes that were committed that they were called there for. So what's your take on all this?
I mean, honestly, Steve, I do believe it was a little over the top. I do. I mean, these were teenagers. Maybe they didn't know all the rules to the HOH pool that they were going to. However, I did see the video a few times, and I do think his behavior was a little over the top for some teenagers in some swimsuits. It was, especially for the 15-year-old girl. Let's just be honest.
All right, but in all fairness, Johnathan, if you know, police is called to the scene and they're told that there's people being attacked and and all chaos is breaking loose, and let's say you have reason to believe that the 15-year-old girl might have been involved, whatever. And isn't it the girl's fault for when she's told by a police officer, get down, she doesn't? I mean, isn't that the root of, at the heart and at the root of almost every single cop, person, or perpetrator, or whatever suspect confrontation we ever see, whether it escalates into a death or escalates into an incident or doesn't? It's someone disobeying the cop.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm all about responsibility and accountability. Absolutely. That's what I stand for and represent. And I do believe a lot of these children come from broken homes. You understand? So they're going to mouth off like she did. I understand that, granted. But I do believe there was limitations for that officer, for that 14, 15-year-old girl to get under his skin like he did, to handle her the way he did. That's where I was like, okay, that was a little too much. It was. I understand where you're coming from. However, it was just too much, and for him to resign kind of speaks for itself. Because if he feels that he wasn't wrong, why would he have to resign?
Well, the lawyer,
yeah,
the lawyer said, the union chief, I think, said that he resigned because he wanted to get the focus and the spotlight off of the community, which is not a racially divided community, which is a good community, et cetera, et cetera. What about the pulling of the gun? Because I know you've seen the video. I'm just going by what the media has criticized, and some NAACP leaders have criticized, from what I've heard. I mean, again, pulling the gun. At the time, he had the girl, he was bent over with the girl, so he was prone, bending over. Two guys approach him very quickly, at least in the video we see, and he doesn't know what they're going to do. He doesn't know who they are, so he pulls his gun and they run away, and he immediately holsters his gun.
Like I said, I did see it, honestly, and this is just my personal opinion.
Yeah, go ahead.
Entitled to it. I didn't see these children, these teenagers, a threat. I didn't. This wasn't Ferguson. This wasn't Baltimore. This wasn't the '92 riots. These were teenagers, hot. It's 300 degrees in Texas. They just wanted to have fun.
But they
wasn't Michael Brown. I could see if they were Michael Brown, I would go in on them.
Yeah, but Johnathan, you can't. But the call came in.
So I'm really more on the defensive side of these teenagers. I have compassion. They need direction.
Well, what I know, I understand.
A lot of these teenagers come from broken homes. You understand? If they're out here in the streets because they just want to go swimming and they're discouraged by that, then what's the next escalate that's going to happen?
Well, first of all, Johnathan, you can't just decide it's hot, I want to go swimming if you're not allowed. If you're not if you're not allowed into that facility, that's a crime number one.
I agree. I agree. I do believe they all showed up not realizing the rules. I understand.
But Jonathan, that's not even the point. The point is, from the cop's point of view, he gets a call on the radio. Now, the lawyer said he had been to one suicide where he comforted the black family members of the person who committed suicide at another pool in front of the daughter and widow. Then he had been to an attempted suicide, and then he didn't even want to answer this call, but since they said it was escalating into violence, he went. So he understands that there's a problem, a fight or multiple fights. So he's coming there with that in mind. So that's what he was trying to do, was to get people, restore some order. But if he's down on the ground, if he's bending down and two people come up to him to support their friend who might be being arrested, he has every right to pull that gun. He doesn't know if one's going to take a swing at him. He doesn't know.
Let me ask you this, Steve. There were 12 officers on the scene. Then why did the police chief say one of them acted inappropriately?
Well, I agree with you're absolutely right.
11 of them was there, which I saw. They seemed chill. I respect them. But why did the police chief say one acted inappropriately?
Well, again,
I'm just saying, it speaks for itself. I mean, I'm not. We can go back and forth, but he said one acted inappropriately.
No, he did. He absolutely did. And what I think he did was I think he threw his officer under the bus because they figured it's not worth it, not a fight worth fighting, because they figured they'll sacrifice this guy and get the spotlight off of them. Otherwise, they risk Al Sharpton coming to their community and other so-called leaders coming to their community, and all hell would break loose in what is normally a peaceful community.
The Black Panther movement, all them down there, please. You Black Panther movement needs to show up in Baltimore and Chicago. That's what I would stand for. You guys didn't even show up during Memorial Day weekend in Chicago. But you want to show up down here for some teenagers that wanted to go swimming? Give me a break.
Well, no, that's what I feel drove them throwing this guy under the bus. They didn't want any part of that in that community because it's a peaceful community. It's one of the best places in the country to live in a recent survey. So they didn't want any trouble. So they threw the cop under the bus.
The foolishness that they're trying to start now, I'm not with.
I hear you. Hey, Jonathan, it's always good to talk to you, whether we agree or disagree. Please come back soon.
Amen. God bless you guys.
Take care. Johnathan Gentry, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming back with John Sununu. Don't go away.